All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
Hey everyone, it's the Crazy Spartan again, and today I had a thought about something that has been asked for by quite a few people, and I think I found a way to kind of make it work. Now that, of course, is a custom games lobby or playlist, something that would work much like jumping into Team Slayer or any other kind of playlist, objective, big team, multi-team, anything like that. That's kind of what people are asking for. Now, I think this is an absolutely fantastic idea. You spend all that time creating your beautiful maps, and very few people ever get to play on them. So that's why I do like this. I love variety in maps. I absolutely hate it when maps get voted for over and over and over again. Now that's why I really started to hate the map Sword Basin Reach and the Pit in Halo 3. I know, don't shoot me yet, but not because of the maps themselves. They were really good maps, especially the Pit. Loved it. But because they always got picked and you played them over and over and over again, it got kind of old. But now that I got away from them for a while, I mean, I really enjoy them again. Not so much of Sword Base, but that's because I haven't played Reach in a while. But anyways, moving on. So how can we make this work? Now let me throw this at you and see if you think this is even plausible. Alright, so you start up Halo 5. You worked all night on that beautiful map, and now you want to try it out. So you jump into Custom Games Playlist. It will then present you with two options: host a game or join a game. You select host because it is your map and you want to play that. Now this part is very much like Custom Games is now. You have to select your map, select your game type. Your game type will be put you into the correct kind of playlist, and there's going to be a labeling system. It's going to put you into Slayer, Objective, Big Team, etc. This could be done by adding that kind of labeling to that game type and map. Now that you've done that, you hit the third option called Search for Players. The matchmaking system will then find the appropriate amount of players based on how you labeled your game type. Things like number of players would have to be added so matchmaking knows how many are needed for the map in question. Now, if you don't know, when I'm talking about labeling, I mean it's very similar to creating a CTF map or something similar. You have to label the objectives to make the game type function properly. Speaking of which, before you can start searching for players, the map would have to pass a functionality with the game type before it will allow a search. Like say you have a CTF map you want to play, but you didn't put the flag objectives in the game, so it's not going to allow you to search for that kind of game type. Well, then once you get into the game, you will then be able to, of course, enjoy your map. So that is basically how I see hosting the game will be. So what about joining the game? Now this also is very similar to that. When you go into custom games, you would select join a game. This here can be done one of two ways, I believe. Number one, you can just get a general search and join any game that is available. Or number two, selecting the join a game opens up another set of playlists where you can pick things like Slayer, Objective, Big Team, mini games, testing, and random. You'll then make your pick and start looking for the game, just kind of like we do now. So that is the basic overview of how I think this could work. Now, going to the playlist would not affect your skill rank or progression at all. This would be a completely just for fun playlist. The game would still do its best to pair you up with similar skill levels, but it wouldn't be a completely necessary thing like you would have in ranked games. Now we talked about that there. Now what about the downside of this kind of thing? And yes, there is a downside. You would have people create maps where there is just some kind of very distinct advantage to one side or the other. They could create a map that is just bad in general. It could be any number of things. I mean, trolls will be trolls no matter what. Well, I thought about this too. So how can we counter some of the shenanigans that people will do? Now, I think a voting system would be the best way. You would vote for 3 things at the end of the match. 1, is this a good map? Yes or no. 2, is this a good game type? Yes or no. And 3, is this a good host? So when the votes come in and the map, game, and the host gets rated, now if they receive enough negative marks, the maps, the game type, and the host will receive a temporary ban from hosting games in custom games playlist. Is this a perfect solution? No, I don't think so. But it is at least a little bit of quality control for this kind of thing, for trolls doing what trolls do. Alright, so what happens if all these constantly receive positive marks? Now this here is completely up to 343, but I would love to see this. I would love to see it. Now say around the top 5 maps in each category each month. Your top Slayer, CTF, Oddball, whatever, could then be selected by 343 and then put into regular matchmaking in the appropriate playlist. Now each would have to be tested, I think, by 343 just to make sure everything's functioning the way it should. But after that, you would have your map in matchmaking for everyone to enjoy. Anyways, I think that this really could work for all those that want this kind of playlist to play custom games. Now, I'm sure probably I missed some details here, but that is why I bring this to you guys. Some of your ideas on this would probably be much better than mine. So please leave comments down below, and don't forget to hit the like rating if you think this might be a good idea, or even if it's a decent idea but needs some tweaking. If you aren't a subscriber, go ahead and join up on this channel for some more Halo goodness. Now, one last thing before I sign out, though. I have a rather big announcement coming very soon, and I hope you guys will like it as much as I do. I do have another smaller announcement, one that I am going to share right now, though, and that is, if you're unaware, Halo 3 is a free download as of October 16th. Now, I'm going to be jumping online that night for some of that crazy nostalgic carnage in that game. I will be most likely in Social Slayer most of the night, so maybe I'll see some of you guys online that night. Now, if you are wearing your mic, make sure you say hi if you see me online. Well, that's about it for this one. Don't forget, go ahead and leave some comments down below if you think this is a good idea at all. So, this is the Cray Spartan, and I am out of here.